This PowerPoint was made so that students will be able to study for the assessment. And this assessment will be on the explorers, the 13 colonies, and the French and Indian War. All right. This was set up for a Jeopardy game to be played in school, but since we're not playing the game, let's just go through this. All right, early colonies. This was the first permanent English colony in 1607. It was founded by the Virginia Stock Company. Now keep in mind that the stock company has a purpose of making a profit. And that's the whole purpose of this particular colony. The colony is what is Jamestown. This colony is known as the Lost Colony. It was first attempt by the English to settle on the East Coast. And the colony simply disappeared. And to this day, it is a mystery. What is Roanoke? Jamestown is in this state. Name the state. Virginia. One reason Jamestown survived is because this man had a good relationship with the local Native Americans. He was the leader of the colony, and he drove the colonists pretty hard in order to produce enough food for the winter. Who is Captain John Smith? Jamestown was able to produce this, which eventually made the colony wealthy. It was their cash crop. What is tobacco? John Rolfe actually brought it over to America, and it worked out real well. These are two of the New England colonies. Two of the New England colonies. There's a total of 4, and I asked to name 2. New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. It's important that you note that there are 4 colonies in New England. 3 of the 4 originated from Massachusetts. This is the main reason colonists settled in the New England colonies. Religious freedom, such as the Puritans, the separatists. They settled there in order to worship their religion as the way they wanted to. This is one of the unique ways New England colonies make money. And what I'm looking for, there's a number of different answers to this. So it could be shipbuilding, fishing, whaling, harvesting at the sea. Any number of things could have been listed there. This is when a family only grows enough product for themselves. It's called subsistence farming. They're not creating food to sell. It's simply for their family. The 41 men aboard the Mayflower signed a document setting up a form of self-government and agreeing to obey laws passed by the majority. What is the name of this document? It was called the Mayflower Compact. Name 2 of the middle colonies. There's 4 of them: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. You notice Maryland is not one of the middle colonies. It is a southern colony. This is the nickname for the middle colonies. It was called the breadbasket. It's because the wheat, the grains that they produced there, and which they would make bread out of. This is one of the most important products of the middle colonies. As I just said, it was grain. In New York colony, This established the idea of freedom of press. You have to give it some thought. This is a trial. It was the Zinger trial. And what happened was Zinger wrote some things about the governor of New York that were not very favorable. So the New York governor arrested him. Well, Zinger goes to trial and he was found not guilty. This laid the seed for what we eventually put into our Constitution of the United States, and that is the freedom of press. This is a country that controlled Manhattan Island prior to the English arrival. So this is a colony by another country. Can you name that colony? What is the Dutch? This was set up so that patrons, or patroons, which are landowners that had large estates, like lords, over the estate. They owned the land, and people rented the land from them. And in exchange, the landowners would get a portion of their crops and what they produced. Name two of the southern colonies. This is where Maryland comes in. You have Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. Name two of the cash crops, and there are several cash crops in southern colonies. You have tobacco, rice, indigo, and later on you have cotton. Southern planters came to depend on what type of labor? This is the slave labor. This person led a group of Virginia colonists against the Indians, was labeled a traitor. Who was Nathaniel Bacon? The incident called Governor Sir William Berkeley to be removed from office by the king. It was an embarrassment. The brutal, overcrowded trip of slaves from Africa to America is known as this. It was known as the Middle Passage, which was part of the triangular trade. Middle Passage, which was part of the triangular trade. This colony was founded by Roger Williams after he was forced out of Massachusetts because he believed people should not be persecuted for their religious practices. Remember, he was thrown out. He was asked to leave Massachusetts. The answer is Rhode Island. This is where the oldest synagogue is located. Jewish were accepted there in Rhode Island. This colony was founded by John Wheelwright after leaving the Massachusetts colony. Okay, so this should give you a hint. First of all, he was asked to leave. He wasn't kicked out. And his name was John Wheelwright, and that's New Hampshire. This Englishman supervised the building of Philadelphia, which is known as the city of brotherly love. He was a Quaker. It was a proprietary colony. What was his name? Who was the governor? It was William Penn. William Penn. That's where the name Pennsylvania comes from. This colony was a safe place for Catholics and was founded by George Calvert. And this one you should know, it was the state of Maryland, or the colony of Maryland. The Indian daughter of the chief who married the colonist, John Rolfe. Yes, it is Pocahontas. And it was the Virginia colony. All right. Well, there you have it. This is one of two. The next one will cover the other areas, such as the French and Indian War, and so forth. Thank you.